Hi guys, this is Shadat. So one of the ways to actually make progress in life is to ask questions and try to get answers. And if you get a satisfactory answer, you move on and focus on the next big question that you have in your life. But in our society, in our time now, we see people who don't have this attitude, and they are kind of like trapped in their own ideas, and they are just not open to look into anything else. The simple, the yeah, very easily noticeable example I would say is if you look at the missionaries, the Christian missionaries asking questions about Muslims, the atheists asking questions about Islam, and you sit with them, you give them the answer, and you check with them whether that answer was an acceptable one, a logical one. They agree to it. Not always. There are instances where they agree to it. So let's talk about the specific questions where they did agree to the answer to be a logical one. So then the meeting is done and everybody goes away, and the next day you see that the same questions, the same people are asking the same questions, and the same question is being asked in the presence of the person who actually had that answer. And you see them not doing anything about it. I mean, if the let me give you an example. So you went out and you had this question, and you spoke to somebody and you got the answer. I mean, forget about religion or anything. It's any question. You just had this question. You didn't know any answer. Your family members, they couldn't provide the answer. So you went outside and contacted somebody who knows the answer, or who thought they know the answer. So they made their attempt to explain the answer to you, and thinking about it, you found, oh yes, that makes sense. And then you come home, and suddenly your brother or your sister or somebody in your family, your wife, your husband, whatever, suddenly they goes, I wonder why this is. And you see that it's the same question. So at that point, if you just sit tight and say, yeah, I'm not sure, that is intellectual dishonesty. And lots of people seem to have that. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is to progress in life, we need to save ourselves from our own intellectual dishonesties. Doesn't matter who you are, if you have a question genuinely, try to get answer to that genuine question. And once you get the question answered, if that answer is satisfactory to you, I mean, by all means, if the answer was not acceptable, not satisfactory, keep on pressing, keep on asking more people, try to get more views on the question. But if the answer actually does make sense to you, at that point, you shouldn't keep on asking the same question until, you still can ask questions if thinking about the same thing for another period of time, and you get another situation or another question around the topic. So, yeah, fair enough. That means that is a new question, if you look at it really, because you had a broader view, and now, thinking about the broader view, you spotted us out of the broader view. Suddenly you spotted this area, and it feels like the answer that you had is not satisfying this particular corner. It does the broader picture, but not this particular corner. Then you try to figure that out. That is fair enough. But after getting the full picture, you just keep on saying, no, I didn't have this answer. Nobody could give me this answer. That is intellectual dishonesty. And for us as human beings to move forward, to work together with each other, we need to get rid of this dishonesty, because if we don't, then we are basically um, creating an obstacle in the way of knowledge progress. Knowledge is not progressing, because if you basically accepted that you had the answer, you could actually focus on a more specific question or probably a separate question. And understanding those questions would probably give you some knowledge, and it will give people around you some knowledge and help them to move forward. So, yeah, I guess whenever you approach a question, I think we should have this attitude. And as I said in the example, there are quite a few different people. They just get stuck in this idea of, sometimes people actually get popularity pushing on a particular, trying to popularize a particular idea, and that becomes like their trademark. So if the questions that they asked, those questions get answered satisfactorily, and they suddenly realize that this thing, this concept that they were propagating, and the problems that they identified in this this situation, suddenly they realize that it's solved. It's solved means you cannot really propagate, say anything against it. And if you don't say anything against it, you lose your popularity. So in that sort of circumstances, people tend to hold on to the same questions, even though it was answered to them. So I think as human beings who want to go forward, who want to make progress, I think we need to be honest with ourselves and have the courage to be wrong, and at the same time have the courage to accept that, accept when we get a question answered, we need to be able to accept that, yes, this question is answered, let's move forward. So with that, I think I hope you will find this little session interesting and enlightening, so that you can learn a little bit more and contribute in the process of seeking knowledge. Hope to see you again. Take care and bye-bye.